It is Wednesday, and that means our plant and garden expert Craig Oct is joining us here in studio, taking your plant and garden questions through the News 8 Facebook Live right now. So let's kick it off with Robert. Is it too late to dig and divide my peonies?
No, this is exactly the perfect time. Go ahead, dig, divide, replant your peonies. You're right on schedule.
And Bill asks, is it better to have your grass cut short or long for the winter?
This time of the year, I would draw the grass down. You're going to be picking up leaves anyway, and it gives the grass less matting to go through. So now is the time that you could draw the height of the grass down for the fall.
Back to peonies, how far around and deep should you dig to transplant a peony bush?
Okay, peonies, they've got a really large, looks like a big horseradish type root. So you're going to want to dig, at least 6 inches outside of where you can see the crown. And when you replant, remember, you're looking for those great big buds right at the top of the root, and those should be right at ground level when you're done transplanting.
And Jenny asks, I recently was given some potted iris. Can I leave them in the unheated garage for the winter?
You could leave them there. Iris are pretty sturdy plants, but they'd be a lot happier in your garden if you get a chance to get them in the ground before the ground freezes.
Okay. We have Tina. Should roses be cut back in the fall?
They get cut back somewhat in the fall. In the fall, usually out around Thanksgiving, maybe the 1st of December, we take them down to about 18 inches. In the spring, you're going to reduce them down to 10 to 12 inches. So yes, cut them back now. It gives the wind less to work against during the winter. And of course, when you mound them up, that's going to give them some support also.
Like the visual there.
Yeah.
And Barb asked, when is a good time to cut back my blackberry bushes?
Blackberries get cut back in the spring. You go in and you take out just the canes that had fruit on them this year. You should be able to see the little nubs that are left behind after the fruit was picked, but wait and do that pruning in the spring.
When can you trim Japanese maple trees?
Japanese maples, I would wait until the ground freezes at this point. A lot of pruning right now we should put off until after Christmas, maybe even the first of the year, so that the plants are completely dormant when you go ahead and start your pruning.
And Victoria asks, when should I cut back my knockout roses? Should I cut them down to a few inches high?
Well, knockouts are pretty vigorous. There again, I would take them down to that 18-inch level come this fall. On knockouts, you could take them down a little shorter than the standard 10 inches on a regular grafted rose, but I wouldn't get too carried away, maybe 6 inches in the spring.
And we're still seeing habanero peppers growing on our plants. Is this normal?
Oh, peppers, they'll keep growing as long as the weather stays warm enough. I've had a lot of people try and dig them up and take them in the house because habaneros are a fairly late ripening pepper, so it takes a little extra time, and unless we get a really long fall, you do lose part of that crop just because the weather shuts down so early.
Eddie asks, last year very few acorns. This year they're huge and coming in buckets. What's up?
Well, your tree has gone into what we call alternate bearing. This happens on the oaks, it happens on all the fruit trees. You get a huge crop one year, and that takes all the energy away from making flower buds for next spring. Then the next spring, you get just a few flowers, a few fruit, but there is a lot of energy for making flower buds for the next year. So it goes in alternate years. On oaks, it's nothing to really worry about. On fruit trees, on a heavy bearing year, you should definitely go in and thin that fruit to go ahead and even out that alternate bearing cycle so you don't get huge crops, rotten crops.
All right, we're going to get more questions answered right after this break, but in the meantime, go to the WQAD Facebook Live right now. We have a Facebook Live up there. You can put your questions in the comment section. We'll get more questions answered right after this.